Students can come forward. One or two from that side. Please come forward quickly. Mr. Yatish, Mr. Ketan, dear faculty members, and all dear friends, a very good morning to all of you. Thank you. First of all, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to the dignitaries, Mr. Praveen, Mr. Yatish, our own alumni, and Mr. Ketan for gracing this occasion and taking time out of this busy schedule and be with us to address their share their experiences with the young budding managers who have joined this program and would be commencing the program today onwards. So, our heartfelt thanks to all of you for being here. Today we are formally starting our session, the academic session for 2015-17 batch, and I can see all of you with full of enthusiasm and energy this morning. It has been almost more than 48 hours for many of you who have been in campus for your various formalities, and then this morning you were also part of the auspicious ceremony that we had with a Havan Puja. So let me ask you, how has been the feeling so far? Is it good? Is it bad? Good. You feel happy about it? Yes. Okay. So that's something which again motivates us, encourages us to take the entire proceedings forward. My dear friends, it is very important for all of us, and we are lucky to have experienced people like Mr. Praveen, Mr. Ketan, Mr. Yatish, who are here to share their experiences and enlighten you that how you would be or you should be moving ahead in your life now onwards when you have decided on a career. Mr. Praveen, with varied experiences, having worked with the top leading companies in the country, right from Tata's to Eicher and so many others, and have been instrumental in the turnaround, he will be the right person to guide you that what kind of temperament, what kind of attitude, what kind of competences that you must build in for a successful career. You would also have Mr. Ketan, who is into a business of competence or talent acquisition and competence measurement, and helping the companies to hire the right talent, and therefore he would be guiding you to develop the right kind of, help you develop the right kind of talent in you. And he was just sharing that many a times the company look at the attitude, the behavioral part of you in your personality rather than your competency. So certainly you will benefit from his experience of his talent hiring and helping companies to hire people like you, young managers like you, from 2 years from now. And then you have your own alumnus friend in Mr. Yatish, a very successful professional who was equally good as a student while he was at Jaipuria. So you will get both the perspective of how you should be developing yourself in these 2 years in the campus, what classes to bunk, what classes not to bunk, how much time to spend outside the gate and inside the gate, and how much effort that you should make to pass your examination, or you should come out of this phobia of examinations only and must develop yourself in totality as a person or as a personality. And he will also emphasize, and he will throw light on how Jaipuria as an institution will help you develop yourself in these 2 years, and how you can yourself help in developing as a good professional. And then certainly I would expect him to talk something about his own career and his learnings in the corporate world. So it's a momentous opportunity for all of you. But before that, let me first congratulate each one of you that today you have decided on a career, and that of the many various career opportunities and career paths that may be available, that you may be pondering over all throughout, but finally you have decided on pursuing a career in business management. And I'm sure this decision of yours and your commitment in coming days will take you long. As far as I am concerned, in my view, the years to come ahead, the way the economic indicators suggest, the way the business outlook is shaping globally, in the next 4 or 5 years is going to be the period of opportunities. Even I talk of India, and with the kind of initiatives which has been taken and which are being taken, irrespective of the governments, it is not only its growth and development will not be only concentrated and restricted to few sectors, but what you will see tomorrow or in the coming years, this growth will percolate to new emerging sectors. You will have opportunities in the rural areas. You will have opportunities in the social sector. You will have opportunities in the infrastructure sector. And there would be n number of, and this is besides the opportunities that we see today in retail, in e-commerce, in hospitality, in services sector. And I think there is a new opportunity, emerging opportunity, which I can definitely see in 3-4 years' time, is the manufacturing sector. And therefore, I have this conviction that your decision of choosing a career in business management, which will lead you to a great future, a great career path, where you can be a successful human being and I'm sure you will be able to live up to your own dreams, live up to the dreams of your parents. You will be able to satisfy the dreams of your family and your friends. But then, for that, you'll have to work and work hard. There is no dearth of opportunities as I can see in future. I am also happy, and it is my privilege to welcome you to this Jaipuria family. You have chosen, after a great amount of research, after a great amount of consultation and your own work, you would have chosen this institution with certain conviction in mind that yes, this is the right place which will give you the right path to, which will lead you to the desired goal of you and may help you in capturing the opportunities which I just talked about. So I am happy that the Jaipuria family over a period of time, year after year, is growing and growing in numbers, not only in quantity but also qualitatively. With each passing year, we have new benchmarks set by our own students, working with the industry, working in different sectors in different capacities. And I'm sure when you have associated yourself with this family, you will make yourself proud and you will also make proud this family as well. I think you should, when we're talking of pride, I think you should also be taking a pride in associating with an institution like Jaipuria. And there are quite a few reasons for that. And let me just mention a few of them. I think you must be proud, first of all, you must be proud of the legacy with this Jaipuria institution carries for last 20 years, or maybe more. If I look at the origin of the Jaipuria in the education sector, which started with a college in Calcutta in 1945, and since then, the Jaipuria group has been into education, whether in graduation or in the colleges, higher education or school education, and now with 20 years, we are into management education. And we have had this legacy of success. And who made us successful? It is you as students who have made successful. It is people like Yatish and many more, about 5,000 plus alumni that we have, and their success, their successful career, who have made this legacy bright and beautiful. And we are really proud of. And I'm sure tomorrow you will also take a pride in associating with yourself with this Jaipuria brand or Jaipuria group of institution, which this association, I think, is going to remain with you lifelong. The next thing that you should feel proud of, which Jaipuria has been able to establish, is its connect with the stakeholders. And our primary stakeholders is the society, it is the industry, it is the other sectors in the society. And let me tell you that the kind of trust, the kind of confidence that the industry today has with us and in our students, again it is because the students have been performing well. They have earned the respect and the trust of the industry, and the industry people increasingly now over 300 plus companies are associated with us on a regular basis for various reasons, not only for recruitment, but for training, but for consultancy, and many more collaborative associations that we have developed with them. You should also be proud of the faculty members, the enlightened faculty resource that this institution has. When I talk of Jaipuria Noida, we are 30 plus faculty members. When I talk of Jaipuria as a group, we have 100 plus faculty members. And this faculty resource, which comes from varied background, carries different experiences, right from the corporate experience to the experiences that they have developed as a researcher or as a PhD scholar and the kind of inputs that they have brought into the classroom, I think you will feel proud about their contribution in the transformation process of you as a professional. You will also appreciate their contribution in the classroom and outside the classroom, not just as a teacher, but also as a mentor. They will be your, and this is going to be your second home away from home. And the faculty members and the staff members in this particular campus are going to hold your hand in the times of difficulties, and definitely they will be there to share your joy and happiness whenever there is a reason to rejoice. And also, you should also be happy about connecting with the friends that you have here. Sitting in this room, I don't think how many of you would imagine or you would know that you would have friends from all across India. In my last count, I think that it is at least we have students from 18 different states, from the different parts of this India. And therefore, as your friends, as your alumnus friends in last 2 days have been sharing, your bondage or your networking with friends and networking with friends who are no more in this campus but they are working outside, they are the alumni. This network is going to be a biggest asset for you in your career. And therefore, this bondage will help you to be successful anywhere in any corner of this particular country. I think one last point, there would be many, but one thing that I would like to highlight is the Jaipuria ethics and values. The kind of value system that this institution would develop in your personality or would try to develop in your personality is something which you will relish. This is something which will give you a cutting edge in your career. And as I just mentioned in the beginning, that the corporates today are looking something more in their employees, which is ethics and values beyond the competences and talent that an employee has in them. And therefore, with the Jaipuria ethics and values, I'm sure you will turn out to be a very successful professional. So I think these are the few points that you must keep in mind, and I'm sure you will experience on your own in days to come, in years to come, and probably that day you will remember, and remember correctly, that on this day, at this platform, I was the one who had spelled out few attributes of Jaipuria, and probably you find them right in the Jaipuria's context. Now, before I end, I would also like to tell you, I'd also like to mention that this world where you are in today, please don't think that this is a different world than that you have been. आप सब जहां से आए हैं, जिस भी कोने से आए हैं, जिस भी बैकग्राउंड से आए हैं, आपको आज का वातावरण, आज का यह प्लेटफॉर्म बहुत ही डिफरेंट नहीं लगेगा। आपको एक ऐसा नहीं समझना चाहिए कि ये कौन सी नई जगह आ गए और ये कौन सी नई पढ़ाई होने वाली है जो हम नहीं कर पाएंगे या आज तक हमने किया नहीं। मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि जो आपने आज तक पढ़ाई की है, उसी का यह उसकी एक अगली कड़ी होगी। आपको इस पूरे माहौल को एंजॉय करना है। आपको यह देखना है कि हर चीज आपको इसे एक रिगर या एक स्ट्रेस के रूप में नहीं लेना है। अगर सुबह से शाम तक आपको क्लासेस होती हैं, अगर आपकी ये प्रोग्राम शेड्यूल आपके सामने ये अगले 15 दिनों का है, और अगर आपको ये दिखता है कि ये प्रोग्राम 9 बजे से शुरू हो रहा है और 5 बजे या 6 बजे तक ये चल रहा है, तो आप ये घंटे गिनना छोड़कर आपको ये देखना है कि उस प्रोग्राम इन घंटों में आपसे क्या अपेक्षित है, आपको क्या करना है। और जब आप उन चीजों को देखेंगे और उन चीजों को मन से, तहे दिल से अगर आप करना शुरू करेंगे, तब आप उस चीज को एंजॉय करेंगे। तो मेरा यही मकसद है, मेरा यही आपसे मैसेज होगा कि प्लीज एंजॉय व्हाटएवर यू आर डूइंग and whatever you are supposed to do in these 2 years. You have to study hard. You have to go out in the field and go out in the market and experience. And while you go out, you have to enjoy that activity or the assignment that you have been given. You have to learn. That is the perfect learning when you go out in the market and field. Don't think that this is some kind of an assessment or some kind of an assignment or a work which has been thrusted upon you. This is something which you have to build into your own life and enjoy yourself. Don't you do something for your own family. Sometimes you have some marriage ceremony, some ceremony in your family, and you have to run around. You have to run around day in and day out. Still, you give your best to make that ceremony happen and make that ceremony a happy ceremony. And you give 200% of you, and you never feel stressed. You never feel tired. And I think that is the kind of attitude you would be required to carry in these 2 years in whichever activity we do. Please develop the habit of reading, writing, listening, be aware to the environment, be open to the environment. Because these are the things which are something which cannot be taught to you in the classroom. I cannot give to you in hand, I cannot spoon feed you. These are the habits which you will have to build it. And why I am emphasizing these points? Because these are something which is missing in this generation. This is what our experience is. And we have been continuously harping on your seniors, on your other students, where we expect them to read, write, think, observe. And that goes into the development process of you as a thinking manager or a manager who can think, analyze, and act and take decisions. I think you will be learning many more tips, many more gyan from our esteemed guests here. So I would not like to elaborate on these at this forum, but certainly I think I will leave this last message with you, that this path that you have chosen is a great path to be in, with a lot of opportunities where you can fulfill your dream. The only thing is that you have to be committed to your goals. You have to act and be particular. Enjoy what you are doing. I am again emphasizing, enjoy what you are doing. You should have that learning curiosity inside, to have that this learning going on and on. I can assure you that you will be all faculty and staff members and each of the members in the family, where our alumni, our experts and associates from the industry, everyone will be present to help you out, to hold your hands, to give you directions, to give you every kind of a support. But that initiative, that inner urge, that effort has to come from you. Please ignite that energy. Please ignite that interest in you, and the world will be yours. Thank you. With these words, wish you all the best.
Dr. Thakur, the faculty of the Jaipuriya Institute, guests on the dais, and my young friends. I'm happy to be here because whenever I go to an institute and talk to the youngsters, I get back into the time machine. I was also one day in my life, many years earlier, sitting like this in a conference room, being addressed by the senior people, and I listened to them very carefully. And after that, my career started as management trainee in Tata's. and finally I became the CEO, Managing Director after 22 years of work experience. And then moved on in life, and today I'm advisor, and as very kindly was said, I've been associated with academics for 35 years. So my association goes so long with the youngsters that I'm always happy to be with you, not for addressing you, to share my life experiences with you, good and bad. And let me file a caveat here that my thoughts that I'm going to share with you are not necessarily the university thoughts. Okay? So even if I may say something which doesn't tally, please pardon me for that. Why are you here at this place? Okay, let me clarify. Do you want a monologue or a dialogue? Do you want me to speak 15 minutes, close this thing, okay, and say thank you and go back home, or you want to interact with me? Because interact. So you'll have to ask me a question. And I'm giving you the freedom to ask me to pause any time and then ask me a question onto that. I would be happy to respond to that. What I'm going to do is not going to give you a gyan, but I'm going to share my experiences, and based on that you can ask me to expand on any of the ideas of the thought. The first question, why are you here?
For a good placement.
Sorry?
For a good placement.
Good placement. Anyone else?
Attaining knowledge. Attaining knowledge.
To learn, to gain knowledge. Okay, there are different...
To manage.
To manage. There are different ideas which are in your mind because of which you are here. The fact is you are here by choice. Nobody has forced you to come here. Okay? And if you have decided to do and pursue your higher education beyond graduation, it is your decision. So kindly take the accountability of your decision. And if you have decided to be here, then make it a success. When does the success come to you? In 2 years? When you pass out with flying colors from here? Or the success comes maybe 20 years later when you are the CEO, Managing Director of a company? Even then it may not be. The success is if you have been able to contribute back to the society and to the next generation, what I'm trying to do here today. And I was very happy to hear Dr. Thakur when he talked about the value contribution to the society, to the people of this country or the world. And that is, I think, the fundamental objective of getting into pursuing a higher level of education. Having said that, are you going to face, after the education, a very good, enjoyable life? Having none of your challenges in front of you? No. So what is important? The important is there is going to be a change every day. Okay? When I started my career, the world was very different. We didn't have computers, we didn't have mobiles, we didn't have anything. India itself was very different. So the way I was working at that point of time was very different than the way I'm working today or you are going to work tomorrow. So what has changed? I'm still the same person. The world has changed, the environment has changed, and you were saying something, tell me. The technology has changed and will keep on changing. Okay? The way we used to take decisions at that point of time has undergone a change. My way of decision making today has undergone a change. But I am the same man. So what do I need to do? I have to change myself. I have to acquire knowledge. To keep pace with the technological change, the managerial change and the behavioral change of people. So what's important? Not the 2 years of studies only. It is fundamental that is going to make you a man or a person or a woman who can think differently. So education here has a different meaning than what education you had in your school or in your graduation. And for that, you have an esteemed faculty here. What are they going to do? They are going to carve out a talented person out of you. You will have your education, marketing, operational research, materials management, blah, 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 HR, many subjects would be there. But what is important is how do you apply these subjects into the business world and into the society. That's important. So it is not the knowledge which is important enough. It is the application of that knowledge to get the benefit for the society is important. And that is where I like the variety into that. If the same model, maybe a model of microporter or something would be taught to you, but how it is applied would be different by 100 people sitting here. And that is creativity, that is innovation. And this is what, when you will start doing it, you will start enjoying. You may not enjoy learning, but you will certainly enjoy application of your knowledge and learning. How will that happen? Do you think your faculty can make you do that? They can facilitate. In my own personal definition, the professors are there as value creators, facilitators. They will tell you, here is how the management books are, this is what is the meaning of that, they are always available to you to clarify. But if you don't go to them, you are the leader. So what is required to be a successful manager in life? Manager, when I say, is right from management training to managing. What is that one thing that is most critical? Anyone? I know many things are important. What is it? Okay. In my opinion, let me tell you, to cut short because we have a limited time period here, initiative is important. If you don't take the initiative, you will not be able to achieve what you want to achieve in life. And you are here for what? There are three things in life. The first thing is that you are born in this world. Second is that you will go through your life. How you want to live your life through is your decision. And the way you want to live your chosen life, for that you need a career. Career could be a job or an entrepreneurship or anything. And for that you need education. So you have decided something what you want to do. For that you need a career, and for that you need an education, and you have decided and chosen to be doing post-graduation in a very good institute called Jaipur, where you have tremendous experience available, you have faculty and you have students available. But again I am saying, if you don't apply that through your own initiative, you will be left behind. The world is very competitive, let me tell you. When you get into a corporate sector, people are going to compete against each other. You are here from Jaipur, there are other colleges and other college students will also be there. Suppose you join as management trainee in a corporate sector. If there are 50 management trainees taken in that, do you think everybody will become managing director? So you need something different than others. And what is that different point for you? You have to decide and pursue that. The world is again changing. Today's world, if you go on Google, talks about VUCA world. Okay, it is volatile, ambiguous. Customer needs are changing. Everything is moving fast. So you have to move fast in your mind quality on to learn and apply. So this journey which you have started today by choosing to be in the management group is only a beginning of learning. So these 2 years that you are here, you will learn how to learn and how to apply. Subjects are there, that's okay. But beyond that, that is what you learn from your faculty. How to learn, because after you move out from this institute, next 40 years you have to learn on your own. You will not have the luxury of such professors to come and tell you. Yes, you will have your networking, you can call them once in a while, but you have to learn on yourself. So how you do that is one of the most critical aspects. The second most critical aspect in a corporate sector is behavioral, relationship and communication. Your attitudes, your ego management and other things. If you work in a team, you will be able to achieve a lot. You fight with people, you will not be able to achieve. There is a difference between being aggressive and firm. Now these are the kind of things, and I'll share with you, when in IIT Delhi in the third year, we were taught one semester a psychology paper. We all protested. We have come here in IIT after cracking JEE to study engineering. I am not here to study arts. I would have gone to Delhi College. But today, let me tell you, as managing director, 90% of my time was consumed by psychological application, leadership, how to get things done from people. So, when you are taught HR, please try and understand very, very carefully. I've handled labor strikes, I've handled lockouts, I've handled many things. If I didn't know psychology, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So sometimes we ignore many of these softer aspects of management. Please don't do that. Your harder aspects, facts, logic, you can apply and achieve only if you know the softer side. It is this softer side which is going to help you to achieve that. Logic is important, rationality is important, but how it is applied is more important. You may have a viewpoint which is different than others. How do you make the other point see your viewpoint is extremely important and critical. So what is management? It is man management. Man, inverted commas, has been used, but women are included. And women are today top CEOs of this country. You know that, I don't have to say that. So I would see many of the ladies sitting here as the future CEOs of the corporate world of this country or the global country. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts I wanted to tell you. Another important aspect I want to say, there is a model which we will talk to you, Michael Porter's model, which is called differentiation theory. Leadership, cost leadership and differentiation. Why do you buy iPhone 6? What is it?
Differentiation. Brand name. Differentiation.
Differentiation. If you are carrying an i6 iPhone, you are somebody. Why does somebody buy a Royal Enfield Bullet motorcycle? Status symbol. It is not the best fuel efficient bike. It doesn't give you so much of acceleration and speed, but what does it give you? It gives you status.
It gives you the best feeling.
Okay, feeling. So esteem value of Royal Enfield bike is much greater. And I tell you one day, when I'll share with you, I became managing director, but I had not yet taken over in Chennai. I was in Delhi. I asked somebody, I said, मैं उतर गया सड़क पे, हिंदी बात कर लूँ? Everybody knows me. मैं उतर के पूछा, भाई आप मोटरसाइकिल क्यों चला रहे हो उसको? He didn't know who I am. Enfield बहुत अच्छी मोटरसाइकिल है. I said, ये fuel consumption तो इतनी ज़्यादा है, इसमें 30 किलोमीटर भी नहीं देते. You know what he told me? He said, साहब जो बुलेट चला रहा है ना, उससे fuel consumption की कभी बात मत करो. वो fuel consumption नहीं देखता, वो कुछ देखता हो. One more small thing I'll tell you, I was redesigning the entire motorcycle to meet the homologation norms in '98. I had hired ABL of Austria to redesign the engine. There were two conditions we told them. Redesign, increase the horsepower, improve the fuel efficiency, but the outer shape of the engine should remain the same. I don't want to change the housing and the casting, the gearbox and the engine. You know, it's a split gearbox engine. That's one thing. Everything was concluded, these guys were there, I was in Chennai, I called them over in the evening for a get together or something before signing the contract. Before signing the contract, I said, hold on, I want one more condition to be imposed. They said, what it is? I said, I don't want the sound of this motorcycle to change. They said, sorry, we can't do it, we have never done it. But we insisted, they went back, they took 1 week, we did the spectrography of the entire noise. It was decided, it was part of the contract that the noise will not change. Why? Because the noise was the differentiation. जब जमींदार चल के आता है मोटरसाइकिल पे, गांव में दूर से पता लग जाता है कि जमींदार साहब आ गए क्योंकि टक टक differentiation. So I'm telling you that this differentiation theory is on technical terms, okay? But I have extended that to human beings. Out of 100 management trainees, one will become managing director who is differentiated. How do you differentiate yourself? You are the best judge for that. Think about it. How do you want to differentiate yourself in this world, in this society? For that, you need a lot of talent. What is that talent? I don't think anybody else can tell you. I can't come and tell you, look, if you have these 5 talents, then you will be differentiated. Somebody else will have not only 5 but 10 more. So your talent, your differentiation that you will create for yourself for the next 50 years depends upon what your attitude is, what your internal thinking is. So please spend some time quietly and think about yourself as an individual. It all depends on the background, on the thinking, on the way you have been brought up, etc. These are the areas in which I am going to specialize. One is a specialization in the subjects and the knowledge. You will have that, you will be guided by the professors very well. But think about your USPs. You know, in marketing we call it unique selling propositions. What is yours? I've been on the other side of the table in recruiting people. When somebody comes, suppose I have to recruit 5 people and there are 50 interviews I am doing. All are fresh MBAs from different colleges. What do I look at? I don't look at the knowledge. Because the moment you are qualified into an MBA, you have got a degree, whether you got 92% or 93% doesn't differ. So we look at many other points. Again, Dr. Thakur had mentioned about it, and I think my esteemed friend is going to talk to you a little more on to what is seen as by the recruiters. So create that kind of a thing. Okay? I'm heading towards closing of my time. One last point I want to tell you. When you pass out after 2 years, what will you be making to send to the market? Two sheets of a paper. What is that for? Your CV, your biodata, your curriculum vitae, or whatever you call it. Okay? When will you make that? From today onwards. What will you write in that? You have started. So what are you writing into that? Previous experience. The past. The history. My recommendation is, there is a theory called simulation theory. Kindly simulate how you want you to be seen after 24 months. Okay? Write that down on a piece of paper. 2 pages. Whether you are there today or you are not there today. How you want the world to see you after 24 months. Write down that. Prepare your future CV today. Paste it on your hostel notice board, in your wall, in your room, not the notice board. But I'll come to that, why this notice board word came from my mind. I'll tell you that. So put it onto that and each day see, are you making progress to convert yourself into that guy? Give me anyone's name. Anyone's name?
Ashish.
Ashish. Now Ashish will see every day what is he doing to see that Ashish. You can put your picture there. There are a lot of things you thought you ought to be. It will not happen on its own. You want to write that, yes, I have published 3 papers in 24 months. At the end of 24 months, you will be thinking, I wish I had done this. Write down today, see that and make sure why only 4 papers you published. Go to your faculty and tell them, this is my projected CV, this is my simulated CV, this is how I want to be seen in the world. Please help me to achieve it. And they will help you. So in these 24 months, the life is much more beyond the books, beyond the subjects, beyond the lectures. All that will happen with your initiative. Otherwise, what you can do is bunk the class, go see a movie, go to your hostel room, sleep well, or play or do something. You have chosen to be here. Nobody forced you to come here. How you utilize every minute of these 24 hours depends on you. Okay? So put that simulated thing. Many times, why I said notice board is, you have networking and your friends together, not only here, as Dr. Thakur said, outside also. If you want, put it together. 10 people put their simulated CVs onto the notice board and say, can you help me to achieve it? Your friends will help you to achieve it. You cannot analyze yourself fully. Others will analyze you and tell you this is where you are having a shortcoming or these are your good points. So look into that. I think I can go on, but let me try and close it here. These are some of my thoughts which are important. You owe a responsibility to yourself. Ashish has come here by his choice. There are a lot of expectations from his family and others, including the faculty from the institute. It is his responsibility and accountability to fulfill those. So now Ashish is no longer a lone person. He is connected with everybody and he has to do it. And last thing, I am here as part of my personal social responsibility. 15% of my time today is doing the personal social thing, honorary academics and social work. I don't do consulting, I don't earn in that period of time. So my request would be, start looking at society. Can you contribute? Now onwards, whenever, up to whatever age you can contribute, do that. So this is something, if we give more to society, it will be good for the next generation of this. You are still young to understand that concept, but maybe as you grow over a period of time, I don't know whether I'll have another opportunity to talk to you or no, but keep thinking in the mind that if something you give back, the amount of happiness, joy and satisfaction that you will get out of that is tremendous. And what Director Sir was saying, be happy. Try and derive happiness out of that. With this, all the best for your future career. I'm available, my phone number and my email IDs are available. Narayan is a good friend of mine. We have worked together in IIT Delhi also. So in case anytime you want to talk to me, most welcome. You can give me a call and I will respond back.
So one question.
Thank you. Yeah.
So can you give some advice on time management? How can we manage the time so efficiently so that we can achieve that goal which we have set now?
See, okay, please sit down. Now this is one of the most difficult things. See, time management comes with your priorities. Okay? How do you do that? Time management is give and take. I have to be productive. So, time available is only this much, and if I want to do more, something I have to give up, number one. Number two, I have to see at what level, in what area I should be involved. If I start getting involved in many smaller things where my value addition is less, I am wasting my time. I should do where my value add is the maximum. In leadership also, this is something in the corporate world you will understand. There is always a tendency of doing your subordinate's work. Why? Because you can do better than your subordinate always. You will get a feeling, and that's why you are here. But if you don't stop yourself from that, then you will not be able to do the work that you are supposed to do as a leader, but you will be doing the job of your subordinate, which he has to do. So make him learn. So delegation, empowerment, many of those techniques are there. But something has to be given up. If I decide to do honorary academics, I have not seen a movie in a theatre last 5 years. I don't go. My family complains. I said, you want to see a movie? Come on, I'll drop you there. 3 hours, whether I'm sitting on the next chair in dark, doesn't matter to you, you are watching a movie. 3 hours later, I'll come back, pick you up, we'll have dinner together, go back home. But these 3 hours, I'll prefer to teach to a university. My wife appreciates because she happens to be a visiting professor to Delhi, a lot of universities. So we both, sometimes to have that time, productive time, we both keep our lectures at the same time in the same university and we travel together. So that travel time is available to us to talk to each other. Now this time management is something which I'm very glad that somebody has talked to me. It's an important aspect. Please focus. Please keep developing your own ways of managing time better for your contribution. Any other question? Okay, thank you very much. All the best.
Professor Thakur, my colleagues on the dais, some of my previous faculty over here, and it's so sort of feels happy to be home again, the second home as it was addressed, and my juniors, and welcome. At the outset and at the onset of your curriculum, this 2-year curriculum, if I was reminiscent of the time I spent here, lots been spoken about, but still, there would be a certain percentage that would have just cracked the exam. They wanted to, pursue higher education and have come here, but still not sure, what subjects, no clue. What specialization, maybe HR, maybe, no, HR is for girls. I won't get into HR. Finance, but I'm I'm not a commerce graduate. I'm an engineer, so maybe finance, marketing is not meant for me, but no, marketing, because that is the in thing today. So you are at crossroads, you will be at crossroads, and it's a long journey. That what to do, what not to do, which direction, which path to take, will be a constant decision that you will be required to make. Professor Bhatia here has sort of used certain adjectives, celebrated, so it puts a lot of responsibility, and I hope that the session has been initiated by my colleague here from Aisha, I am able to carry it forward to a certain extent. I would like to keep the house open and would welcome comments. First of all, let me reassure you from alumni and the fact that I've also been in some way or the other, even after passing out from the institute, been in some way associated with the growth that especially the Noida campus per se has seen. The Noida campus, it's celebrated about 10 years now. It started off as a university, and then gradually, I was from the MBA UPTU batch, and then immediately the year after PGDM started, the campus has grown phenomenally. You've come in at the right time, because with the policies that the current government has initiated, they've been criticized and there's a lot of critique around, but believe you me, by the time you would be ready for your offtake into the market, there would be a lot of demand that would be there, and therefore the time is always opportune. And to just take the thread from there, the institute, even in the so-called tough times, if I could say so, and being an ambassador of the institute in a way, has managed to provide placements. That was one of the criteria. And I'll add to that, somebody had said placements. See, the institute can only be a facilitator, and I'm being impartial when I say that. Somewhere attitudes was what was talked about, or rather, it was the fundamental inherent quality within you. So till you also are able to leverage the resources that are being provided to you in this 2-year program, it's a two-way process. It's not a one-way process. As is the saying that goes, that you can take the cart or the horse to the pond, but you can't sort of force the horse to consume water. You've got to take that extra mile, make that little effort. A lot is being served to you on the platter, but you've got to, make that effort and consummate the transaction. Now, having said so, and if I can bring in some elements of philosophy, which was also discussed in the previous round, you were still the fact that you, whatever it may be, you agreed to be part of this 2-year program, somewhere illustrates or suggests that there is some degree of, I'm an engineer by the way, so there are times that I may talk about certain technical jargon, but there is a concept of elasticity and there is a concept of plasticity. So plasticity is when you're not ready to be molded into anything further, and the fact that you've given in and you've come in and agreed to be a part of this program suggests that there is a degree of elasticity and you're not completely tenacile to be such. This program is, or a management program is a blend of a lot of subjects. You will be in typically the first year, you will be covering all areas of management, be it OR or be it so operation research, some of the engineers. How many engineers are there, by the way? And from, and the art students and commerce. Huge number of commerce students. So I'll tell you typically how the classes will progress. So the commerce students will talk about the fact when accounts and finance comes in. The engineers are the sort of typically the ones who sort of tend to burn the midnight oil and would some way or the other try to edge out their peers. The art students would be in, they are pretty few in numbers, so I fret for them what they would be going through. But there is this fundamental bit. See, you are not supposed to be an accountant. So also for my peers from the the non-commerce background, as managers, again, you have to correct certain concepts. As my colleague here stated, it took him 22 years to become the CEO or the MD. So right as you pass out of the college, you will not be getting a managerial position. At best, you will become a management trainee. And you would be subjected to various areas and functions. If you get into a FMCG, your initial posting would be to a tier 2, tier 3 sort of a surrounding. And therefore, you have to be open to that challenge. Here you will be given an air-conditioned classroom, an air-conditioned platform, you will have laptops around and all of that, but those luxuries, laptops will be given to you in your job. But when I started off, and I was given my laptop and my dongle, I was so happy, and I'd come here. Then the director used to be Dr. Singh, and he said, "You will understand this is a leash around your neck because you are always available even after. So you are 24 hours available to the organization. There is no escape." But then those are the formative years, beginning from today. And it will be that attitude towards how you take on these challenges that would sort of differentiate, as the word was used, from you amongst your peers. Because at the end of the day, the corporate ladder or the corporate world is like a pyramid. The base of the pyramid is really wide, where the MDs or the executives get in. And gradually, depending on there are various levers available, but ultimately success is what's going to drive you to the top. And the slots at the top are not many. Having said so, the industry or the sort of sectors that are available today, it's undergoing a sea change. You require capital. But if you've got a concept, if you've got the attitude, if you've got some networking skills, all of that is required, which is why I call it a blend, management education as a blend. When we talk of networking, it is not just related or limited to your peers alone. You've been given a platform today where some dignitaries have come. Some of you I know would, even after this interaction, try and establish a contact. A very few would, maybe none, but a few would. Now those few in itself among the class of 200, 300, those who take that initiative, there is some distinction within them. As he was, typically when you, after the 2 year or even after a year when you will be going in for your summer internship, you've got a 5-minute, 2-minute span with your interviewer. How are you supposed to? So your resume, yes, but at times maybe the resume is not looked at exactly by the person who's supposed to be the final decision maker. There's an HR here who will basis the resume, just shortlist the candidates, and ultimately you will be brought into a boardroom because it's a process of elimination. We don't have that much time around. So in that we'll have the GD. Why is the GD done? Because we are hoping that you have, as he said, a certain homogeneity in the group in terms of the level, the education level and background. We would then like to see and assess that, okay, from a temperament, from an attitude, how does he gel along as far as my organization is concerned. And therefore, the ability to communicate, if I can sum up, amongst all qualities, because I am presuming that you would be taking up to a certain standard and there will be a base standard, common minimum, lowest common denominator. The ability to communicate, and when I talk about communication, it is about how you are able to absorb what is said. How are you able to communicate or put across those views to the target audience? You may know the entire curriculum, the entire syllabus, but if you are not able to channelize and put forth those views of yours, and there would be people over here in this room who, for various reasons, may not be able to contextualize it, or there may be grammatical or in language constraints that have to be overcome. And if you are setting those targets, it has to be done now, today. You have 2 years. I can assure you, as far as the faculty is concerned, as far as the infrastructure is concerned, you are not going to face a challenge. The good part about the institute would be that given the fact that they've been a heritage brand, if I can say so, in the space of education, ultimately see bottom line and top line is important. But somewhere this is a core segment that they've been in and they understand the sector, which is why they go all out. And it's not just seen with a complete accountant's eye or a financeman's eye, and they see the holistic picture. And therefore, if you want to sort of participate in seminars, you want to write some papers, do some case studies, do industry visits, let me assure you, and being a part of the alumni, you can take my word for it, even the alumnus would be very happy to support those initiatives. The college in itself does it. So, I have to also, so you have to be completely assured, A, that choices that you made, you are in the best available institute amongst the, it's been ranked by various magazines, etc., all that is there. From any other perspective, so the base that's been provided to you is per se amongst what any other leading B school or the Ivy League institutes per se would be providing to you. It's about you and up to you how much you are able to leverage what is available. I'll give you, when I talk about blending of informations, I, as I said, am not a commerce or an arts graduate. I was a hardcore engineer from electronics and communications. Went into the MBA program. Again, I had that psyche, HR is not meant for us. That was there, pretty much there. But then, there are these pressures in and around. So I opted for finance and marketing. And when I talk about marketing again, marketing is now no longer limited to what the original Potter books had preached. It is transcended down to various new avenues which I talked about now, but play a very important role because social media or BTL, because at the end of the day, ATL or what you see, the television ads and everything, see, there are a lot of upcoming and rising sectors. You see Snapdeal and they've got tremendous and phenomenal funding. But Snapdeal didn't become Snapdeal from the day they started, or Housing.com. They started with a seed capital of some 40 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 10 lakhs. And suddenly people came and became associated with them. What was required was that they identified that very niche. We are associated with a couple of these concepts, so I talked about this one. Ola, everybody is aware, and the challenges and the regulatory hurdles. So these are various aspects that you have to look into, and which is why you also taught some papers concerning law, consumer protection, and these aspects would be taught to you. And therefore, you got to keep that at the back of your mind. A very good or a nascent stage, similar sector is commercial vehicles. There is a lot of transportation needs, just as individuals we require taxis. For a lot of shifting, people who are traveling, and there is a lot of commercial vehicles also movement that takes place. Unfortunately, what happens is that you booked a vehicle and it reaches a particular stop or a place. So from maybe Lucknow to Delhi, you've taken a vehicle, it's come here, and supposing you are a commercial vehicle operator. Now you would then be at the mercy of these middlemen, so-called middlemen, who would then fix up a transaction for a return journey, because you got to burn that much fuel. You have to pay your driver's salary, and you don't want to return with an empty cargo. Now, if in this entire transaction you can provide a platform, an online platform doesn't cost much. Just a platform where you got all these people to register free of cost. And you can note where the vehicles are plying, where is the availability, where is the supply available. And there is a chip, a value added, so VAS that was discussed as a value added. So I am telling you how it connects. So I've been in mobile telephony, I've been advisor to the Tata Group, so I started off as a banker, moved from a banker to a consumer durable company. From a consumer durable company, I moved into a business consulting role. And I've consulted for companies like the Tata Motors, Tata Tele, Tata Communications, Strix, the Sultanate of Oman. So it's been a journey, and that quest for knowledge perhaps has been the driving force, wherein I don't like to get bottled down or caged into a certain set role, if I could say so. And that the ability to do something new is perhaps what drives me, if I were to point that out. So coming back to the commercial motor concept, if you brought in a chip, there is also a concept of pilferage that happens. So vehicles mein chori hoti, if I can now get into the local dialect. कोयला transport हो रहा है, सामान transport हो रहा है. You don't know where the hell has the vehicle been. There has been some pilferage that has happened. So what that chip does is, it is inserted into the body of the vehicle in the fuel tank. It remains there. It is able to sense and calibrate the weight of the vehicle, and it is also mapped using the telephony, the GPS telephony, which gives you the exact location of the vehicle, and you are able to therefore not just calculate the efficiency, but also register at what point of time there has been a difference in the weight calibration, and able to specifically pinpoint the exact location where that pilferage has happened, and in a sense stop that process. It also allows the insurance company to provide you a proper insurance for the entire process. And thirdly, you have an inventory available. You don't require any middleman. A common person like you may just hook on to the website, see that okay, there's a vehicle available over there. It's a more efficient way of doing it. I get a percentage of whatever is being charged, and the model is complete. This model has now been started in Mumbai. There's still scope for 2-3 more such players in the market, and there is enough funding that is available. Tiffin boxes is another such concept where there are multiple of tiffin boxes companies that are available today, but you are not able to compare them. If you can just provide a platform that can do a quality check, there's another company that has started a concept of serving food, hot food from fine dining restaurants, which don't do home delivery. See, these don't cost much, but these are certain spaces which these people have identified that, oh, I can be present in that space. And there is a business model that has come around. And how does your being in management education helps is that it is sort of a jack of all. You don't specialize in one sector, but you have a holistic view of various segments. And as was discussed, man management is critically calling management purely man management, as we had put in maybe I tried in beginning that I would not be sort of going by the complete textbook meaning, but in essence that is at the end of the day what it is. Because it is the softer parts. You will get all the IITians or people from Carnegie to come and work for you if you have the right concept. Everything in today's time, as times have changed, are available. You don't have to worry about resources if you've got the attitude, the ability, and you've identified a certain concept. It's not an entrepreneurship session also, but there's no stopping you, if I could say so, and summarize. I like to sort of open the house for any questions that you may have. I've already consummated a lot of time. That is always something that I have been ticked about, that you take a lot of time, free flowing. I had noted out certain thoughts. EQ is one of those. So when we talk about the software issues, it's also statistically proven that emotion quotient at the end of the day is what drives as opposed to just IQ. Because IQ can just take you so far. If you got to reach to the top, it is the EQ part that harnesses your skills and makes you successful. Any questions? No questions means you've not understood anything, and the lecture was quite boring. Please.
So how to convert an idea into a platform and make a business?
See, anyone can have an idea, and you'll be taught this. There are various techniques that exist, but on a very practical basis, and try and understand management with a rather open mind and approach. See, any idea you may come up with, what do you have to see? So, in a business, what has to be seen? Whether it will work. So, whether it will work will depend on what? Does that idea has a demand, a need? So, you will be taught need is, the ability to pay with what you want. Need is a basic criteria, but from a need to a want. So does that demand or that want for that product exist? Okay, if it exists, is that a sizable demand? Only 5 people are demanding it, or an n number of people are demanding it, but that is not enough to even meet the expenses that are going to go in for development of that product or that model or that service. How is that going to economically work out? So, Enfield per se that sound. So there's that sensory marketing aspect that we did with Professor Sharma, Poonam ma'am. No, you don't have to look at the system. If I were to open it, you would all be reckoning what a Windows sound is. It has a typical sound when the Windows OS starts. So these are aspects of sensory marketing that you by hearing, by seeing. So you go to a cafe coffee day or a McD, that logo from a long distance, you are able to figure that out. So these are these nuances that you will pick up. And coming back to your question, you have to basically see that the concept that you are working on, whether that has the potency to be serviced and at a cost that is met by that demand, and therefore the financial model has to work. If it doesn't, then you have to do away with that idea and then work on an alternate concept. These days, everything is driven by IT. So if you've got concepts, tie up with someone who understands IT or has done some programming. It will work up as a good technology base. So housing.com, Snapdeal, or these the grocerybazaar.com. If you look at all their stories, there are 2-3 people coming together, maybe starting off something to meet the local needs of that area. So the story of the housing.com people, for 5 IITs who were looking at a flat to rent, didn't have the affordability to pick up something in the immediate vicinity of IIT Bombay is in this place called Powai. So they couldn't find something, or whatever they would get. There are a lot of brokers or ads that you see. The basic concept is when you see something in housing.com, you can be sure of what the product is. There may be a lot of claims on Times, magic property or whatever that you would get into. What is wrong in it? You go there, they will claim that okay, you get an apartment for 35 lakhs. You can buy a straight out a purchase. But if you go there, suddenly you will realize that no, that apartment is not available for 35. That was just supposed to entice you to that particular property broker, and then you take the process forward. But when it's housing.com, they will not just ensure, you cannot list your advertisement just like that. There is a process that goes into it. They will come down to the place, verify the paper, they will even take pictures, do a 3D concept or a 3D of the entire place, and when you visit that site and get into the product, you can actually, it is an actual replica of your actually visiting the facility from the inside, and therefore, so the status comes as usual. And I think I've managed to answer that question to an extent. Hopefully we'll get some more sessions to interact.
Thank you, Yatish, for offering a right perspective to our new students.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for the introduction. I think the sense that would have come out is that I'm a startup guy. I've worked in very young companies. In fact, my first job back in 2001 was a startup job, and since then there was some bug that bit me that I have to do something of my own. And I'll touch upon entrepreneurship, why is it important for the country, why that is one solution that we absolutely need for the country. A little bit more background about Metal, what we do. It was a startup started by one of my childhood friends. We both went to an institution called Jaipuriya School in Kanpur, and he was working outside India. He came back, he stayed at my place, and I was working for again a startup. And he said, "Kuch apna karna hai. We can always work for let's say companies, but can we do something of our own?" And in that process, this company was born. It started. We were in very cushy job. It started with 2 people working out of a garage, and that garage had a rent of 7,000 rupees, जो कि हमें लगता था कि इतने पैसे भी कैसे दे सकते हैं, अभी कोई रेवेन्यू नहीं है, कोई प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, पता नहीं है कहाँ बेचेंगे, कौन खरीदेगा. But that was the start. We had dreams in our eyes कि कुछ कर सकते हैं बड़ा, and we had some notion कि ऐसे तो शुरू होना चाहिए, और कैसे शुरू हो गई कोई कंपनी, और कैसे कोई बिजनेस शुरू होता होगा. And today we are around 200 employees, offices in 6 different cities, one small office in San Francisco as well, and we believe that we are doing decent work in our area of matching opportunity to talent. With that background, again, I'm an engineer and an MBA, but I think the real learning in my life so far has happened when I've kind of delved deep, खुद किया है, करके गलतियाँ की हैं, but उससे सीखा है, फिर that is the real learning as opposed to books. So I would have read Porter in my MBA, but कुछ समझ नहीं आया, सब ऊपर से निकला था, कुछ भी समझ नहीं आया था. I'm just beginning to appreciate marketing, what is it all about, and खुद करके ही आ रहा है. So the first point that I want to touch upon, what are the expectations of from an MBA? Praveen ji touched upon why are you here? Let's say if you just look at the Western MBA concept, people, you're spending money, you're spending your time next 2 years, huge amounts of effort. There's an opportunity cost of you not working in the industry for the next 2 years. So the onus is on you, as I think has been highlighted. You have to make the best of it. There are resources available to you. There might be great faculty members who are there to support you, guide you. But अगर कुछ करना है तो आप ही को करना है, because you will be the beneficiary, you will be the loser if you don't do it or do it to the extent possible. And it is you have to identify कि आप क्या कर सकते हो. बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हो. Somebody asked the time management question. You have 24 hours. Probably you at best you have 15-16 hours of active day. आप उसमें 15 activities भी कर सकते हो. आप उसमें 5 भी कर सकते हो. आप 1 भी कर सकते हो. You have to decide. When you enter the corporate world, it is always said कि कम चीजें करो और अच्छे से करो. Prioritize. Do 1 at best 2 things, but do it properly. Do it really well. Do it the best in the world. In a campus, in a setting like this, you have the luxury to try out a lot of things. Understand क्या आपको अच्छा लगता है, what do you really like, what are you passionate about, what are you really good at, and then carefully choose certain things, maybe move in certain directions that kind of does justice to the strengths, to the personality, to the interest areas that you have. So make the most of it. Today you have an opportunity to go in any direction, any subject, any stream, any industry. You will not have this luxury once you graduate from here. So this optionality value is really important. So make the most of it, try out a lot of things, enjoy your stay here, play a lot, maybe participate in extracurriculars, but एक चीज जो आपको दिमाग में रखनी है कि what is it that I am learning here? Am I learning every day or not? And that final recommendation of Praveen ji that this is what I want to see myself 2 years down the line, and I have to work towards it. This is how companies operate. They have an annual plan, they might have a 5-year plan, and after that annual plan, everybody in the organization starts working towards that annual plan. All the decisions are taken with an annual plan in mind. There might be review meetings every week, every fortnight, every month, whether how are we progressing towards that plan. So make that plan for yourself. Again, here there is something called the importance of hard work. I think I've hired a lot of people in my own company, in previous organizations, and the key differentiator in my mind when I'm interviewing somebody or I'm at least looking at it is कि does the guy even know how to work hard? एक difference जो मुझे IIMs में the batchmates that I've had या ITs में they somehow early in life figured out how to work hard. Again, I am one of you. I grew up in a small town, and वो एक आंखें खुलने की बात होती है. आपको पता लग जाता है कि you might not have the best potential. मतलब you might not be a Sachin Tendulkar, but you can become a Rahul Dravid by working hard. Another example that comes to mind is like, do you watch tennis, lawn tennis? Yes. So there is Roger Federer, very elegant, supremely talented. सबको बहुत अच्छा लगता है देखने में फेडरर को. But there is somebody called Nadal, who is really hardworking. बॉल को छोड़ता नहीं जब तक रिटर्न नहीं कर दे. So for every Federer there is a Nadal, and a Nadal who can be better than Federer due to sheer hard work, sheer dedication towards that goal of those 1 or 2 things that you define. And if I have two CVs in front of me, one from, let's say, an IIM, and one from institute, which is a regular institute, I would any day prefer somebody the potential to work hard. If the potential to work hard is in that regular institute guy, I'll take that guy any day. So that is really, really important. And I think a lot of, so most of the guys would be probably born in the 90s here, at least the students. So back in my days, in the 80s when I was growing up, there was, if I had to listen to a song, I had to wait for a Chitrahar on a Wednesday or a Friday. Today I can have a Ghana app or some other app and listen to any song that I want. The point being that there are too many distractions right now in front of you. बहुत सारी चीजें आप कर सकते हो, बहुत सारे posts आपकी तरफ आते हैं, distractions आते हैं. That is why there's a perception that is created that today's generation is not focused. But probably इतने सारे distractions पहले भी होते तो लोग इतना ही defocused होते. So again, it's up to you how you focus yourself. How do you identify that key things that you are good at? How you can be really, really active. I hear that probably 70% of you would be staying in a hostel. How do you become active? And when I say active, participating in extracurricular things. उससे होगा क्या? उससे आप you will learn to take decisions, learn to use resources that you would have, learn to manage the time, and of course you will make mistakes. First attempt में, second attempt में, third attempt में कुछ define नहीं होता है, it defines for a period of time. But at least you will take that first ladder, second ladder towards improving your skills. So be very, very active while you are here in the campus for the next 2 years. That will already place you at a few notches higher than your competition from other places who might not be so active. Talking about competition, there's some metrics. India there's a new skills ministry that has been set up. Some metrics from there are India has 450 million people in the workforce today. बहुत बड़ा number है. It's like 1.5 times the population of US. Every month, 1 to 1.3 million people enter the workforce, which means in 24 months there would be 24 million to 30 million people looking for jobs in India, just in India, in this period. India is not creating that many jobs. I mean, if you look at the white collar skills, there are at best 1.5 to 2 million jobs being created in the white collar segment. And when I say white collar, the knowledge worker segment. So there'll be a dearth of jobs, and that's a fact of life. The good thing is India has a lot of talented people. The world at large will have a lot of jobs. So India can export its human capital if they are trained and skilled. But what that does is you start competing with the world then. India may, let's say there's a company in the US who wants to set up an office, it can do it anywhere in the world. If it comes to India or goes to Philippines or goes to Vietnam, will depend on the talent available and will depend on both technical talent and managerial talent available. So point that I'm making is it is no longer very local competition. You are competing with people not just in other institutes in Noida or Delhi or India, but globally now. So आज आप अगर कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, somebody somewhere would be working towards one job that is there that might have come to you but might go to the other person. So think about those things as well. Just coming back to India was, as I said, from a Chitrahar era to probably a DTV era to probably the Ghana era today. India is changing, and every decade will not be the same as it was in the previous decade. Competition is increasing, but think of it as a viable career option as well. One service to the nation that you can give is to set up a business of your own, maybe a bunch of, and setting up businesses. There's this one study which says that most businesses are either set up in colleges, campus, because you have the right friends, you can identify, you can get complementary skills in one gathering. So most businesses are set up from campuses. But if you can set up a business, you can start employing people, you can start giving them jobs. That's a great service business, because India will not have those many jobs, and we'll have to do some demand-driven activities to create jobs there. And some of you probably should also look at that as a possibility. We've talked about housing, Ola, Metal by no means is that large a company, but at least from nothing we are trying to create out something. There was 2 years back, there was no taxi service. Ola has tried to fill that void. Again, housing, any opportunity that you see these companies going for, there were problems earlier. So there was a problem of getting a good taxi service. There was a problem of getting a new house on rent or on or buying. So, or India problems are coming in. So how you identify that problem and how do you want to convert to an opportunity is up to you. You might view something very, very differently. There's a traffic problem. Can I predict traffic? Google Maps is trying to solve that problem. It is free right now, but any day if they want to charge maybe $20 per annum, people will be willing to pay that. So think of these as opportunities where you can, through your, again, hard work, dedication, can create a large business out of it. And do nation service as well in that process. What will help you achieve that? One thing, if you want to have one takeaway from my talk, in the next maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks, try to think about what are your key strengths and what are your weaknesses. And if you can get that answer, the sooner the better it is. Because you can start working towards improving and playing to your strength. So, like Saurabh Ganguly always hitting the ball on the offside because he knew it was his strength and he refined it to an extent which nobody could beat him there. So, identifying that key strength that you have, and the sooner you do it, it will help you select the stream. It will help you select the industry. It will help you do research. It will help you reach out to the companies in that area. It will help you get internships, and you can start working towards that. The sooner the better. Remember, you're paying money, you're investing your time, you're investing your effort. So you have to leverage the most, and this is one starting point for everybody around it. Again, we run a business which matches talent to opportunity. What that means is we work with companies, help them create the right assessments, be it behavioral skills, be it technical skills, be it cognitive skills. And the more we work, while there is a lot of complexity, there is a lot of depth in that, mota there are just 2 points. People look for capability on one side and attitude on the other side. And capability wise, there is, there are sub-competencies there, but fundamentally if I have to give weight to it, attitude would any day get around 70% weight when a hiring decision is made. Capability might get 30 to 40% weight. And when I say attitude to own things up, to take accountability. कि आपने मुझे बोल दिया है काम मैं कर लूँगा. You just forget about it. Timeliness of outputs and commitments that you make, the quality of the output or commitment that you make, and every small thing might make a difference. It might be you have, let's say, recommended, or you have, let's say, committed to a faculty member, you submit a, let's say, tutorial in time, and you do it, and you do it in a quality which automatically raises you above the rest of the guys. So, attitude of doing that job, of taking that ownership, become more and more, and increasingly will become more and more important, because knowledge will be everywhere, knowledge will be commoditized. How do you apply that knowledge will depend a lot on your attitude. And finally, have a passion. Essentially the difference that I see in people who are doing really well, we have a sales team, and we see people who are very, very, some of these traits, people having the right attitude are typically the best performers, and not the educational background, not a lot of other things. But a common theme, they have a lot of passion in what they do. Pick one area, it can be anything. If you play good table tennis, pick that area. But have one passion also which helps you unwind, relax, but become a star in that. But it is not that I love watching movies, become a star in that. There was a business that can be set up around watching movies, and that can be your business as well. Not watching movies, maybe there was a company called Cinema Sprite, 70mm. They did not eventually end up being very successful businesses, but that was a business that was carved out. Netflix is a business around those lines in the US. So marrying that interest area or the passion that you might have, the strength or the inner personality that you have, and the industry demands. If you can marry that and think about it when you are retiring to your room or next 4 or 5 weeks and get an answer, it will definitely help you in your career. It can change the course of your career. It can change the way you think about things. And take up challenges. I mean, finally, if you play video games, you don't like to play very simple video games, right? And if it is a car walking along the road with no impediments, no constraints, you will get bored very, very easily. So take up challenging work, challenge yourself, get out of that comfort zone, and you'll start relishing that, enjoying that. And that will be the first step in terms of how you start thinking about the world around you. So finally, find your strengths, be very, very active in the campus, don't be a passive contributor, be an active contributor. And all the best to you guys. I think I see a lot of dreams in the eyes. Next 2 years, make the most of it.
Thank you, Ketan, for bringing to the forum the expectations from future managers. With this, we would be ending the session. So, the customary vote of thanks has to be made before we end the session. And given the dignitaries of the stature that we had, I think I can speak for at least 30 more minutes if I try to share all the takeaways. But I will try to keep it very brief. We are very thankful to Honorable Director, sir, for setting the right tone for the session. He urged the students to dream, work hard and utilize the opportunities. He discussed about setting benchmarks, the legacy the students and alumni carry. He talked about the stakeholders and how we should focus on them, the faculty that we have here, the hand-holding, ethics, value in our system. And very importantly, he discussed what the students should do in the 2 years they have in Jaipuriya, Noida. We are very thankful to you, sir. Next, we have Mr. Purang, who discussed about, first of all, probed the students. He asked you, what are you here for? And asked you to take accountability for yourself rather than thinking everything would fall into your plate. He discussed about changes in challenging work environment and the need to change with change in technology, behavior, and asked us to imbibe the new technology, knowledge, creativity, innovation, and the very importance of taking initiative and differentiation. We are again thankful to you, sir, for your address. Mr. Yatish Vahal, the alumni of our campus, he talked about he gave you the insider view what the students should do, how they should prepare, how they would be better absorbed in the corporate. And very importantly, he talked about the corporate progression, what kind of corporate world is out there available for you, the corporate pyramid and how you can get to the top. And he discussed that it is good to have or good to understand and absorb what you get to know, but it is more important to put across the views to the target audience in the right manner. And he discussed and shared various practical issues of startups like housing.com and Ola. We express our gratitude to you, Mr. Yatish. And last but not the least, we had Mr. Ketan Kapoor from Metal. And he gave us multiple points where we need to work and the students need to work if they want to see success in future. He talked about learning, he talked about his own experience by learning through mistakes, the expectations the corporate these days have from the management students. He asked each of you to work on your passions, understand your strengths and play around them. He talked about the importance of planning, review, its progressions, and with the examples of Sachin versus Rahul and Roger versus Rafa, he made you understand the importance of hard work. He asked you to avoid distractions, identify key strengths, attitude, timeliness, commitments, and lastly said that we must all have a passion. So I would ask you to give a very loud round of applause for our panel. I request Professor B.D. Singh, Chairperson MDP, to offer a token of gratitude to Mr. Praveen K. Purang for the session. I request Dr. Deepak Singh, Assistant Dean Academics, to offer a token of gratitude to Mr. Yatish Vahal. I request Dr. Poonam Sharma, Associate Dean Student Affairs, to offer a token of appreciation to Mr. Ketan Kapoor. This brings us to an end of the first session of Orientation cum Induction program.